don't know if that was a cop or not. I'm pretty sure that was a cop, bro. It had the M on the plate. Whatever, f***ing we bought. He probably thought my plates were gonna be expired or some shit. But you thought wrong, buddy. You thought wrong. Well, let's see. What are we gonna talk about today? I know a lot of you guys wanted the nighttime venting and whatnot. Unfortunately, I am not as depressed as usual, I should say. But I do want to talk about my first ever group ride. So if you guys are new to my channel, you will soon find out that I've only been riding since June. Bought this bike on June 2nd, I think. Took it home on June 5th. Mainly because I didn't even know how to start a damn motorcycle. I just bought it. But anyway, that's besides the point. Point is, I bought this motorcycle not too long ago. And I had my first ever group ride. My first ever group ride was called Leaned Back. If you're from Chicago, you know what that is. If you're not, you probably still know what that is. But chances are, maybe not. I'm not really too sure. People out of state know how popular this ride is. It's a week-long ride. Apparently, it's the biggest ride in all of Chicago. Some say in the world. I don't know. I don't know where to fact check that. As I was on my way there on my first day, as you can tell, I don't have a freaking, the quad lock, whatever it's called. I didn't have my Apple Watch. I kind of just had to get to the location. In my head, I thought I was gonna get there just by guessing and slowly checking the GPS every few miles, but not even a minute or two after I left my house, I just hear all the bikes. And we're not even close to the destination, man. We're like miles away, like half an hour plus away from the location, from my house. And I can already hear the bikes just roaring. Right after leaving my house, I see like 5 bikers. Common sense. Just follow the bikers. So that's what I did. I met this random guy. I think he was on a Grom, if I'm not mistaken. He was on a little Grom. I asked him if I could follow him. I didn't want to be a creep, just be telling him the whole time. I followed him to the spot. And halfway there, I was like, this is my first ride, like my first group ride. And then he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, this is my first ever group ride with a bunch of bikers, because we have a lot here in Chicago. Example, one of them would be Chicago United. That's the most popular one. They have one every single week. So, it's very popular. And when I told him it was my first ever group ride, he's like, no way. Ever? I'm like, yeah, ever. He's like, oh man, you're in for a big surprise. And as that being my first ever group ride, that didn't really help my anxiety that much. And boy, he was not wrong. It was insane, man. Like, just imagine being a rookie biker. You're used to just biking by yourself or just one buddy, and you're doing normal pedestrian stuff, barely lane splitting. I had probably done that like 3-4 times before this, and like tiny amount of lane splitting. And then going from that to having 100 bikers on your left side and your right side, and just pure chaos. It was a bit intense, to say the least. To say the very least, it was very intense. The reason why I want to talk about this, the amount of knowledge that I gained from doing that. Like, basically, I did a whole week of lean back. I missed one day when it was raining, because I was like, okay, that's passing the line for me. You gotta have a limit for yourself. Like, now with the experience I have now, I would have done that rainy day. But back then, I was way too inexperienced. I was way too inexperienced for the whole entire freaking group ride to begin with, especially that huge major one. What the hell? But yeah, so I was completely too inexperienced for the whole group ride altogether, let alone in the rain. I was really fighting my thoughts about even going to them. I thought about just skipping it all entirely and just keeping to my basic streets and whatnot. I bring this up because that huge group ride week was so important to my biking learning experience, because it taught me how to be comfortable when you're uncomfortable. Because that's the number one thing that was my issue. I was just uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable doing things, you are likely to make more mistakes because you don't know, you don't have the experience. So you're going to be more nervous and whatnot. The very first day of lean back, it really wasn't fun until we got off the highway. It was not fun until we got off the highway. It was so intense. My heart was beating so much. I didn't know what to do, man. In the most latest video that I posted, it was the second half of the first day of lean back, if that makes any sense. And just watching it, I cringed at how slow I was going on Lakeshore Drive. I was going so slow on Lakeshore Drive. Everyone was just flying past by me because, you know, I was pretty scared. I was very scared, not gonna lie. And so just watching back as I was editing that last night, I was like, what the hell, man? I was like, what the hell was I doing in that freaking group ride? I was honestly like, damn, like that's so crazy of me to even go to that group ride being such an inexperienced rider, you know? And you know, of course, I know it comes with me endangering everyone else, endangering myself. I know. Maybe I should have done that. But man, the amount of experience that I got from going to that lean back week was so crucial to how I feel riding today. Even though that ride was about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, wasn't even a month ago, I learned so much in that week. That week was basically like a hardcore boot camp. What the hell? It was like a hardcore boot camp, motorcycle boot camp. It's just like survival of the fittest. Can you handle this intensity? Like, are you a dog, you know? Or are you gonna run away? Are you gonna back off and say, oh, I'll do it next year? You know what I mean? Being under pressure, you know, you have 100 bikers behind you, 100 bikers in front of you, to your left, to your right. You're so tight. You're squeezing into these tiny little freaking passageways and whatnot, where you can make a mistake at any time and mess up everybody else. You know, there's just so much going on that, you know, goes through your mind as you're being especially a beginner in those type of group rides, massive ones like that. People are doing wheelies to my left, to my right, in front of me, behind me, zooming past me. Learn how to be comfortable in those intense moments. But looking back at it, man, that week definitely it increased my comfortability, my knowledge, my riding skill, and so I'm very appreciative of myself and everyone that was there, have that experience with all those people. Definitely something to remember. And now here I am, you know, riding very comfortably. I'm about to hit 2,000 miles by the end of this ride. 2,000 miles in 3 months or 4 months. I think that's pretty decent. I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah. But as I was saying, I literally have videos of, you know, my first week on a motorcycle. I haven't even watched them. I don't even want to watch them because of how cringy I think it'll be, of how terrible my riding is going to be more than anything. I want to say to any beginners out there who are still nervous, the only way to get better, just like anything else in this world, is you got to be 10 toes down, put yourself in those positions where you don't want to be, and you'll end up thanking yourself later in the future. You know, I'm not saying I'm a pro or anything, but the amount of riding skill I gained, freaking 100 times, 10x, 100x itself from the rider I was before that. Now we're out here lane splitting, doing all types of crazy stuff as safely as possible, of course. You know, I'm not a reckless biker by any means. By any means, I am not a reckless driver. I'm a straight A student driver. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this quick video. I just wanted to explain my quick my lean back experience as an ultra rookie motorcyclist, biker, whatever you want to call it. If you guys have any crazy stories on your rookie days, let me know down in the comments, man. Tell me your crazy rookie stories, you know, stuff that you probably shouldn't have done, but you did, and since you did, it probably made you grow as a biker. And you know, mistakes, you have to learn from them. Tell me your stories. Tell me all your crazy stories down in the comments. Let me know all the crazy stuff you've done as a rookie biker. I will see you boys on the next video. Deuces, boys.